Yes, me with everything. Good, I'm live. Cool, cool, cool. Just get down here and across the road. Is it warm here today, lads? It is warm. This is going to be a hot one. Let me just wait for the green man. Oh. I hear it's clear enough. Let's have a look at these signposts down here. Hey, Cathy. Hey, Miriam. I always wondered what this road is supposed to be. So, well, Old Bawn is down that way, and Farnham is up that way. It's not really a road you'd happen to be going by unless you live in or around this area. Do you know what I mean? So it's not the best place to be putting a cult if you're genuinely trying to attract new members. But I guess that's not the idea of it, really, is it? It's more of the property scam, really, is why they opened the building here. So we're, yeah, let me work on myself again. Hang on. Let me put this way. So the cult there, a couple of minutes walk in front of us there. And we'll see how busy they're going to be today. Oh, oh yeah. I probably should have read out the Irish to them, but sure. Maybe next time I'll do that. I'll read the Irish version of them. Hi Hans Christian, how are you? Yeah, it's nice and sunny here in Dublin. We're just a couple of minutes away from the Culture Scientology here. Now they are running a Indian cultural event in here this afternoon from 3 to 10 where they're doing some sort of a Indian beauty pageant thing. So we'll see how many do turn up. I like the way the locals here have their sign there to say no event parking. Fuck off, cult. Like considering the size of this building that Scientology have here, when the auditorium they have has something like 1,100 seats, having only 50 odd car parking spaces is not really sufficient. It's a little on the warm side though. I'd prefer it to be a little cooler than it is. It's in the low 20s here. It's feeling quite warm. What time were it with 10 to 2? That's cool. That gives me plenty of time to set up before too many should be starting. So it'll be interesting to see how many do turn up. Because I think it's something like €100 to enter the beauty pageant. And then the seats inside to watch then range from something like 10 to 30 quid, which doesn't sound excessive, but I'm not sure. Is that good value for money? If you're going to a local beauty pageant, would you even expect to pay for it? I certainly wouldn't, but then I'm not into that kind of thing. I much prefer something to do with music or sport, rather than anything beauty or makeup related. It's approaching their only entrance really is this one. My God, this is a bit warm for me. Wouldn't mind it being a few degrees cooler. That car always seems to be parked there. That looks like the same one. I wonder why. Just switch hands there. See how many cars we have. I don't see too many cars in there just yet, which is good. We do see a few more than normal, which is to be expected, but I'm not sure we've much of a turnout this thing. Because if you're attending a beauty pageant, like you tend to be arriving early. Oh, there's not that many cars there in front. And there's no one here on the near the entrance here. Like they'd normally have a few volunteers to help out with parking. So I'd say they're not expecting much of a crowd, which is good. I don't think the green netting is up either. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Looks like a car. One guard's coming in. One going out. I do think this is a horrible setup. And the only way in or out is down at the very end, and then you're just surrounded by this steel fence all the way around the property. Hey Brian, how are you? We're just on our way to set up down in front of the cult of Scientology here in Dublin. Apparently they're having a Indian cultural event on here today where they're doing some sort of beauty pageant targeting the South Asian population, which here will be predominantly Indians and Pakistanis. There's no green netting up, that's good. We 3 o'clock this event starts, which is good to see. We don't have many cars here. That's not even 20. That's 15-ish. 15 to 20 in the front car park. And the back one. You have 5 cars and 3 little minibuses. And with that poor lady again with the walking stick. She seems to always be here. God love her. Now, where do we want to set up? Yeah, I think the taller wall seemed to work better the last time to set our signs up against. This is what I like where the hive is. Like you can see me reflected there in the window, which I love because there's no way they don't see me. There's no way they don't see the high vis I'm wearing. That poor lady, like, she's not walking too steady. So I wonder is she a staff member or would she be, am I zoomed in? Let me zoom back out. There are 2 Indians turning up. She's in the fancy outfit alright, but that's the kind of fancy dress they do wear on special occasions, so it's hard to know if she has a spectator or a visitor. Oh, but she knows where she's going though. They seem to know where they're going alright, so maybe they're wonder the Scientologists then. Like at best she said a quick hello to the receptionist and she seems to know where she's off to around the back there. It's interesting. As Brian is saying, I got to do the discussion question then. Oh cool, so Brian is smashing it in his course, that is fantastic. Let me just pop you guys on the ground. Working, getting me signage out. Aye. This is the right, oh yeah, this is where I said I was going to set up. Oh, I'm forgetting what I'm doing here. Let me locate Roger first. There is Roger. For Roger said he's suffocating in my backpack. He needs some air. Yeah, poor Roger. And oh yeah, I got this gimbal. Oh yeah, I'm facing this way. It will keep you entertained there for a little while. Let me see. Oh, music. I should get the music. Just adjust my cap. It's about to fall off. And I swear, a ponytail is handy for keeping my cap secure on my head. I should think about putting it back into a ponytail again. Oh, it's too tight. Loosen it again. How about that? That's better. Ah, quite right. I'll put it back the way I had it. Yeah, I think that's as good as she gets. Where's me thingy? Come on, I don't have me. Hang on, where's my thingy? Okay. Where's your books? Oh, there it is. I'm looking at. Do, do, do. Start with some music. Music. I think I'm getting worse, not better at this. Yeah, that's coming out of the speaker. Never got that too loud. Let me just turn it down a little. Let me know if you can hear the music okay. Although the traffic itself is loud as well. I don't know, I think sometimes my ears are more sensitive to sound. So I'm a lousy judge of how loud something is. Get the sound up.
Cracked pavements, men in uniform saying you don't belong. But she keeps moving, steady, strong. Till she shows up, till she tries. By guy always at her side, while others race. She takes a place in council rooms. She's
Yeah, I reckon this is a good sign. Like if they're starting the contest in an hour, you'd expect a lot more to be here again now. Or maybe not. I guess you could do if you could arrive already in your outfit and your makeup and everything, I guess. We'll find out soon enough anyway. Let me get my signage up. Oops. Easy. Oh, I'm dropping things already. Yeah, this two goes down vertically, really. Nuisance. Yeah, it's overloaded with more. thing to do. Right, we're getting a few beats of the horn there. Just trying a new technique with my signs today. Not sure if it'll work with you. I'll find out soon enough. It's a bit longer to put them up. Sure. I think this might actually work. Oops. I think it might actually work, lads. I think we might be onto a winner here. Definitely helping that little bit anyway, that's for sure. That's a good sign. The unsecure ones are getting blown away, but the ones that are secure, they're staying pretty good. This is already a good indication. I'm not wasting my time here. I'm doing. See, we're halfway. Bear with me there, chap. It's taking me a little bit of extra time to secure me posters. I think it will be worth the extra effort. Last two. I do hope this works after all this effort. Aye, aye, aye. Okay, last poster. Oh my goodness. Yeah, there. Roger, signs of falling over there. There you are, Roger. Just tidy away some of my gear here. Hey. I'll have a drink of water first. That's a good idea. Yourself a drink. Oh, tissues. Now, Jesus, sun is shine on the sun. Hang on, let me just put this way so I. Oh no, that's worse. Jeez, that's worse. I can barely read. Hey, Sophia. We have Style. We have Jennifer. Oh my goodness, it's half I didn't have thumbprints all over me. My screen. We have Tracy. We have Catty. We have Lewis. Uh, we have Miriam. We have Big Chief. And apologies if I missed anyone. I'll just very quickly show you what I've been working on. So I have. Make sure I don't run into anyone there passing by. So I have my signs there, a little bit of outdoor grill attack to just to attach the top there to the wall a little bit. And then on the bottom what I've done is I made these little plastic legs and just some cheap ankle wrist weights I have on each of the so hopefully that will, it looks like it is. And for now it's looking like they are looking that bit more secure. Hang on, let me just fix this one at the end. So they are looking to be more secure. Okay, you can see in the background. You guys can see the Dublin Mountains there in the background. They're the fuckers to blame why we're getting all the crazy wind breezes that we get. It's like a natural wind tunnel we're in here. So when we do get a gust of wind, it's a windy bugger. So I'm hoping that's enough to keep our signs in place. So I don't want to be an accidental hazard to anyone. We'll see how it turns out. I took an awful lot of grill attack though. Jesus. I think I'm after using 10 packs of the stuff there. And Google AI told me 2 packs would be more than enough. And I kind of thought about it. Yeah, I don't think so. Because you can tell there the bricks are not exactly even. They're jaggedy as fuck. So to try and in some places you need a thick layer just to get enough for the poster to attach to. And it's the special stuff. It's designed for outdoor reusable use where it won't leave any marks on the brickwork, which is the most important thing. Jeez, I hope so. And then I have this one here that I'm going to use to intermittently hold up to the cult when I see people going in and out of the doors. So this one, we have Scientology is a cult, elder abuse, child abuse, money scam, and stop forcing disconnections. Child auditing is abuse, which it most definitely is. And no more kids in Scientology, that's what we want. How are we do for time? We are 20 past. It's a kid going in. He's still primary school age, between 10 and 12, carrying a gym bag. So possibly the poor kid, his parents are cult members. But that's a lovely spider's web. Not sure if you guys can see the lovely spider web there. I can't really see through this camera lens. It's the sun is very bright and shiny. Okay, we're starting to see he's dressed in a fancy suit. I wonder if one of the might be one of the organisers maybe. What do you think? Could he be one of the organisers? And his fancy looking jacket. There's someone just parked up front. Wonder is he letting someone off or is he see a special guest he's going to park just there, I wonder. 2:20. It's good to see there's not letting someone off. Good to see there's not too many here. Like if it's starting at 3 o'clock, you'd expect a lot more to turn out here. So this is good then if it's going to be a pretty slim turnout. Okay, she's a bag with her, so probably she looks like she's probably going to be competing. Big paper bag with her, so presumably that's her outfit in there. Yeah, that guy we see walking in the suit. I think he might be one of the organisers. Because I can see him just in there around the back of reception talking to one or two other blokes. I'm curious to see how many people do turn up for this. Oh yeah, that girl who just dropped off then. So our partner isn't staying, that's good. So he might be your dad. He looks old enough to be your dad, might be your dad. Oh, music. Let me put on the main playlist. Where have I hidden that? Oh, here it is. Our main playlist. Oh, it's a bit too warm for my liking. I wouldn't mind it being a few degrees colder. Not sure what can you do? What can you do? I do have the sun protection on me, so I should be okay. Let's play it on shuffle. There we go. Oh, thanks very much, Jen. Yeah, if you'd all be so kind as to smash the like, and if you're not already, subscribe to me and share among all your friends. Thank you all very much. Yeah, a bit of a breeze here, and them signs are looking pretty damn secure. So I think we're doing pretty good. Like them ankle. I'm not sure they came in a pack of two with a ankle weight and a wrist weight, but I don't know who would fucking wear them to be honest. Like the 0.5, that's 0.25 in total for each individual one. Like I did try putting on a pair earlier, and I thought for fuck's sake, they don't feel natural at all. I'm not into that kind of thing. I more prefer the natural weight bearing exercises than putting on things like your wrist and ankle straps. I can't see how that's good for you. Like, isn't that overloading certain joints rather than an all body workout? Do you know what I mean? I think I'll stick to my walking in the parks for health. I'm just going to keep a bit of an eye on them that they have tacked on the tack properly. They're all so jiggy in places. So jagged in places, it's hard to. They're secure. It's a lot of fucking tack I ended up using on them though. Flip. Just as well, I got 9 packets of them. No, they weren't too heavy because they're only 0.5 kilograms to the wrist and the ankle weight combined. So that's like quarter of a kilo. So like that's about 2.5 kilos. Now the books themselves, I weighed the books. The books themselves are almost 2 kilos in total. But I wouldn't be able to. That's my absolute limit. I wouldn't be able to carry any more. I'm not even sure if I need the weights. But then it's not that windy today. Whereas I've had a lot more stronger gusts of wind than this. So I think the weights are probably a good idea to keep as well. What was I saying? JD is asking, what's the thing with Scientology? It's a cult, JD. I'd recommend you check out when you have time. Check out this website, victimshavevoices.com, which contains survivor stories, support and resources available, legal help, and how to report the abuses of Scientology, which include child abuse, elder abuse, financial fraud, forced labour, and ID theft. There's another car pulling in there. As says, I feel life has put me majority out of commission for a while. Slowly out from one obstacle at a time. I'm sorry to hear that, so I hope you rest up. It's a fuck of life that the older you get, the longer it takes you to spring back from every little, even a little minor ache and pain. So I don't know how you're supposed to, don't know how you're supposed to grow old gracefully. That's for sure. Yeah, Sophia, it is pretty much like a weighted vest. Only instead of a weighted vest, you have the weight at the bottom of your backpack. And like, I'll show you my backpack because it's a good quality. It's an expensive one. Like, look at that padding on the back of it. That is thick. Oh, fuck this gimbal. I really need to learn how to use this gimbal properly. Let me play with these buttons. If that makes any better. Like, that is thick. That is very thick padding on the back of it there. And I found if you adjust there's a lot of strap, and then you have a lot of these you have a lot of strappy things. So you can adjust it to fit perfectly, have it nice and secure on your back. That takes the pressure off. So without that side of a backpack, there's no way I'd be able to carry them weights in the bottom. And that's what I use typically for my shopping as well. Because I figured I should be able to manage this amount of weight when I can manage 12 packs of 12 bottles of me bottles of water. That's 12 bottles by 750 mils. Like, they'd be heavier than what the weights are combined. Now I wouldn't be walking any great distances now, to be fair, with this new setup. I don't need to. So Sophie, you're saying it's like a weighted vest. Yes, it's more comfortable at the weight. Oh, exactly. So it's easier. It's easier than shopping because there's no lumpy bits. Normally, when you're buying shopping, your fruit and veg, your stuff sticking into you. We have a few more people turning up there. They look like they're carrying stuff, so they're part of the organising team. So we're half an hour from the start. But then just because they say it's from 3 to 10 doesn't mean that they're starting the competition bang on 3, I guess. Can't really, let me just zoom back out. You can't really see much through the camera lens. I can see a little bit more with my eyes. But whatever that type of glass they have in makes it very hard to see. My signs are still holding good. That's good to see. My signs are holding up good, lads. That's a relief because it took a bit of effort to get them. So I'll be quicker. I'll get quicker each time I come out here as I get more experience at my new setup. Irish does weight training once a week. Well, in a way, I do it probably every couple of days. I go shopping. So I'd have me backpack. I use that same green backpack there that whatever I can squeeze into it and then into the side pockets. Ah, that's lovely. Emma sending style, lovely long hug. Ah, that's great, JD. You're aware that Scientology is absolutely no good from Scientology. They're abusive whatever way you look at it. Fundamentally, well, it's a well, for one, it's a property scam. They're very good at collecting fancy buildings like this one here. They paid 6 million for it, but they bought it at the right time when we were going through a property crash here. Because they bought it in what was it, 2016 for 6 million. 10 years before that, had been worth 18 million. So that's quite a knockdown. I would be interested to know how much is it worth today, because it'd be somewhere in between. Would it bounce back to its original value, or could it have been overvalued? And then this land is zoned for religious use. Would that make it more or less valuable? Because if you're religious use, does that limit what you can use this area for, I wonder? I don't know about that. I know about the planning laws and things like that. Oh, I did, Jennifer. Google AI helped me. I kept asking it for ideas, and I had to keep telling it, yeah, but this is the brick outside here, outside Scientology in Dublin. The brickwork outside public basin. And then he kept telling me, oh no, okay, that won't work. You can't use the clips, you can't use the gaffer tape, you can't use this, that, and the other. So eventually we came on something. It's it's an Indian cultural event. It's a what you call it? It's a beauty pageant that they're running specifically for the okay, that's one. Okay, the one at the end there got. I could nearly put my backpack on the end. So the wind is strong enough to knock me weights there pretty low. Hang on, just have another bit of. Let me just put you guys in for a second. Easier to do this with two hands. There is a bit light on the tack on this one. The weights are very lightweight. But I wonder is the gap there causing a bother? Like if I put my backpack up there, would that make a difference? Mm, no. In my pocket. Getting some nice beats of the horn. There's that poor lady. Poor lady with her stick again. She's coming out for a smoke whenever she wants. She'd be a public member then, I wonder, as opposed to a Scientologist. This got put me back here at the end because that helped block the wind if that is there in the way. Like in theory, that should protect that one, shouldn't it, against the wind? Maybe not. It's catching the gaps there. Let's see. Unless I should be standing there more upright with the tops up over the wall a bit, with the tack lower down. We'll see how we get on with the way we have it. So far it's just that one. Then, like the weights are very light. They're only, each individual one themselves is what is a quarter of a kilo. So that's only half a pound, which isn't heavy at all. We'll see how that works out. Hey Matt, how are you? Yeah, it's some sort of a Miss India beauty pageant here specifically for the Indian and Pakistani community. Here we have a few spectating. Like it was 100 quid to enter as a contestant, and then it's 10 to 30 euro based on what seating you're choosing to sit in the auditorium. But when you think of it, that the auditorium is actually I should be holding up my signs. Let me just hold up my sign here. I have to hold it to the side. I'm just going to hold up my sign there. I might actually think of a better solution. It's a bit awkward to hold up that sign. I might think of a better solution next time. Put a bit of rope around that. I could have it as a sandwich board sign around my neck. Would be a better idea. Hey Stro, how are you? We're here outside the Dublin org of the cult of Scientology. We're 25 to 3 of a Saturday afternoon in the Irish sun. Now, only posters lined up there to warn the people against the danger of Scientology. Yeah, that's a theory, Sophia, that the backpack should. Because at least we have this stuff here which is blocking the angle there. Now, if I had to, I could put the posters more upright, which in theory should make them more secure. But that is just more awkward to do when the wall is just a bit lower. But we'll see. We'll see how that works out. I'll just keep a wee eye on me signs anyway. Because what I don't want to happen is there's a few more people going in. Like this is one thing for the Indian community. The women do wear fancy dresses anyway. They wear the fancy oh yeah, they look like they're going in as spectators, are they? But then it's hard to tell with the fancy outfits. They do wear lovely outfits. I'll say that for the Indian community, like their outfits they wear for special occasions are absolutely glamorous. So we're getting a slow trickle of what looks to me like probably spectators popping in. Yeah, the contestants would have a bag with them or clothes to change into. You wouldn't be turning up here in your fancy gear, I wouldn't imagine. Yeah, that looks like the normal fancy outfits that they wear. Well, we were 23 minutes to. We do have more cars than normal, so I'd love to know though how many contestants they do have. Like how many contestants do you need for a beauty pageant? I suppose we only need three for first, second, and third place. Oh, that's fantastic. Brian Oz is well on top of all his coursework. It looks like a native Irish person there. Native white Irish person as opposed to a South Asian. Hey guys, how are you? We're outside the Dublin org of the cult of Scientology of a Saturday afternoon. Apparently they have an event on today, but thankfully they're not that busy. We have about not even 10 cars in the back, plus there 3 minivans. There's another minivan around the side. Yeah, 4 minivans. We have roughly 20 cars in the front. And they have their event here is kicking off apparently at 3 o'clock. It's an Indian beauty pageant they have here, which has been run by an external company. So I wonder Oh, they look like they're spectators as well. So them lads there in front there must be part of the organisers. Just directly in front of my line of sight there behind the desk to the side. So they're organising the event. But like all we've seen so far is one person that definitely looked like she was competing. She had her paper bag or stuff. All the rest of them look like they're just here to watch. But like, how long does a beauty pageant take anyway? Would it take 7 hours? Like from 3 to 10, is that 7 hours? Am I doing me maths right? That is 7 hours. I suppose you have to do your swimsuit, your fancy frock. You have to answer questions, maybe a bit of singing and dancing and whatnot. So they'd have to fill it out. Because no doubt you'd be wanting to be selling some tea and biscuits and sandwiches at this event, presumably. Make your money that way through selling their refreshments. They are eyes to see, aren't they? Like you might think coming out with the 10 signs is excessive, but it does catch the eye. And that's what we want, even if people don't have time to stop and read them. This is going to catch the eye, and they're going to leave here thinking, oh, I wonder why that lady is protesting against Scientology. And that's what we want to do. We want to prompt people to start thinking about maybe there is something more about this cult here. Maybe they're not just a friendly, smiling, benign group. Maybe there are abuses being perpetrated in here. And maybe we should be keeping an eye on what these guys are up to. And in particular, the way they are aggressively, maybe aggressive is the wrong word, but they are actively targeting the Indian community here. The the emigrant groups here in particular, like the Indians and Pakistanis, Afghanistan we had about as well. There's a few more South Asian groups that we do have over here that have increased over the last 10 years. Like we'd easily have 150,000 or thereabouts of them, with about 100,000 or so of them living in Dublin. So that's quite a large group of people for these guys to be targeting, which is probably why there has been an increase in the Indian cultural events, shall we say, that they are running here. I mean, no, they're definitely not making any money by running the events here. So it definitely seems to be a what you call it, sort of a long con. You get the numbers in, you do your you do all your PR with them and whatnot, you do all your love bombing, and then maybe you entice them back in to do a free course, to do a free personality test, maybe buy a book or two, maybe come in and watch their Dianetics film and whatnot and get them in on the hook that way. Because we definitely have seen evidence over the past year that it definitely does look like some of the Indian population have become Scientologists. So hopefully me being here with my signs will help to counteract that. That they'll maybe question a bit more. Hang on, maybe I should do a bit of research and find out for myself. And even better, I would say I'd recommend that everybody read Steve Hassan's book. Dr. Stephen Hassan's book, Combating Cult Mind Control. This one I have is the 30th anniversary edition. So I highly recommend a read of that. That will give you a good idea in general why Scientology in particular is one of the most dangerous abusive cults in existence today. Another great book to read is this one, Robert The Dark Hotels and Scientology Children, where he's talking about the stories all across Europe of people who grew up in Scientology and the horrific abuses they encountered. And another good read is this one that Jamie Mustard wrote on Child X. He's a guy in the States who also grew up as a child in Scientology and suffered the most horrific abuses. And his story is by no means unique. It's a common tale told by anyone who has grown up as a child in Scientology. Hey, Antics, how are you? Hey, Jim. I don't know, whatever school Conor McGregor went to should be ashamed of themselves. That man is an absolute thug and he's a disgrace. Absolute disgrace. Jim, no, this is not a religious group. This is a cult. This is most definitely a cult. Here we go. Scientology is a cult. Elder abuse, child abuse, financial abuse, most definitely. Forced labour, ID theft. They most definitely are a cult. I highly recommend that you read Steve Hassan's book, Back in Cult Mind Control. And that will give you a much better idea and understanding of why this is a cult. I must be a Scientologist. It seems to be their uniform, the black trousers, the white short sleeve shirt and the tie. Very strange though. Very strange to be walking out like that on your phone. They do strange behaviour, like looking at when you look at the members here, they look neither like churchgoers nor your typical business workers.
They told me to write everything I did wrong, even though I didn't see.
Thanks very much, guys. Yeah, exactly. Scientology is a cult, a massive difference. Anybody can call themselves a church or a community centre or a religion. It doesn't make it so. Nor does it give them any fucking right to be abusing people, either financial or by any other means. Thanks very much. That's a lovely way of putting the style. Perfect way. That most people in the world are aware Scientology is a grifting mind control cult masquerading as a religion. Absolutely. They're losing the power. And you could say, well, what's the point of me turning up here? The point of I'm turning up here is that we do see evidence that although there's probably, in reality, there's more people leaving Scientology than joining, but we have seen evidence that they are aggressively targeting the Indian community here, and that a few of them have joined in the last few years and become Scientologists. That's why we're here. We want to do our best to try and inform people to look a bit further, look a bit beyond what this cult will tell you in the love bombing. Have a look for themselves. And in particular, that's where I'd recommend check out some of these stories. Check out the story of Lisa McPherson, Flo Barnett, Kyle Brennan, Ellie Perkins, Kaja Ballo, Philip Gale, Nora Lockhart. That will give you an idea of how dangerous Scientology really is, and ourselves absolutely no good. And in particular, these practices I do not recommend, lads. Their touch assist, nerve assist, purification rundown, 3 meter auditing, the introspection rundown is all detrimental to your long-term health. And I'd say for pain relief, please consult professionals. Stop the abuse cult, please. And while we're out there, the introspection rundown, that's the nonsense they had subjected Lisa McPherson to, locking her in a fucking room, denying her any proper medical help which she badly needed, giving her mega doses of vitamins. Absolutely ridiculous. That she was in the care of Scientology for 17 days being subjected to that nonsense. And it was only when she was on the verge of death that they brought her, how many? It was 3 hospitals away from the cult premises. So needless to say, she didn't recover and she died. That's blood they have on their hands. Regardless of whether it's been proven in a court of law or not, I highly recommend you look into that story. It's very suspicious the way the medical examiner changed the initial cause of death from abuse and or negligence of a disabled adult to undetermined to an undetermined accident. So that to me says that the medical examiner was nobbled in some way or put under pressure. Oh, exactly. One abusive cult at a time. And why not start with the most abusive that we're aware of, which is Scientology? Of everything I've looked at, I'm of the firm belief that Scientology is the most dangerous cult that is currently in existence, at least in this side of the world anyway. It could well be worse in North Korea and China, but I'm just not familiar what cults they have. But definitely in Europe, America, Asia, Scientology is the worst cult that we have in existence. Hey Lara, how are you? Jesus, warm here today. Absolutely not a religion in Denmark. It's Scientology is widely regarded as a cult in most countries around the world. And why is it that no one from Scientology is able to come out here and talk to me like a normal person? Why is it that they need to resort to the bull baiting that they learn and the theories that they do? Like if I was to talk to a priest, he can tell me in my own words what his belief system is. It's not something he's learned off by heart, like say the JWs and the Mormons of that lark as well, and their cults as well. I see my mods are hard at work for me there today. Thanks very much to my lovely mods. Yeah, I think Jim needs to read himself some books. I recommend Jim reads Stephen Hassan's book, Combating Cult Mind Control. And I'd also say have a read of Robert Dam's The Dark Hotels and Scientology's Children. And have a read of Jamie Muster's Child X. Have a read of those books, Jim. Then tell me that Scientology is not a dangerous, abusive fucking cult. Hey Jojo, Scientology is most definitely a cult. Absolutely it is. Hubbard was nothing more than a thief. Didn't he run away with Jack Parsons' girlfriend and his yacht and his money? Yeah, there. Can we see? I don't know. Can you guys see the portrait of? I'm not sure if you can see behind reception the big, huge portrait of Lafayette Ronald Hubbard, the con man that he is. And the Scientologists view him as being the greatest humanitarian that ever lived. Humanitarian, my fucking arse. Absolutely convicted criminal, even in France. Absolutely, isn't that why he had to hide on the Isn't that how he ended up in East Grimage or East Grinstead in the UK? He was evaded and captured by the French. Or is that when he ended up on the Free Winds? So Fear Satan is considered an MLM on a surveillance list in Germany, and the Germans don't mess around. They've learned from history, lads, that you need to take abusive leaders seriously here. Yeah, that's right, Jojo. The fourth hospital a duck or two to try and create that distance. One, to distance it from the cult to make it, I guess, harder to hold them accountable. And that was also that fourth hospital way. Is that where David Minkoff fucking worked or something as well? Absolutely, antics. This is about the abuses, not the religious doctrine. People are free to believe in what they want. Look, if you want to howl at the moon, lads, be my guest. But just don't do it past midnight and wake your neighbours. Do you know what I mean? But by all means, you can believe in what you want. While you're not harming anybody. Absolutely, Sophie. If people die, you don't watch it as an organisation. That's not a hospital or hospice type. Exactly. Something is most definitely off. Is that lady's ear? She looks fancy enough. Oh, in the high heels, she could be competing, lads. She certainly looks like she's fancy enough to be competing as a beauty pageant. I know the Indian beauty pageants are probably different than the American ones. Would they do the swimsuits? Kind of curious. Now I'm thinking I should have paid €10 for the bottom dollar ticket to go in. I am kind of curious to see what an Indian beauty pageant will be like in general. So we're starting to see a few more people turn up. 6 minutes to 3. But this is a great sign. It's not much of a turnout though. There's that much money for them to be made here, lads. Antics is saying religious doctrine based on Satanism and hypnotism. Absolutely it is. Jen is saying the start is a joint money making scheme. Absolutely, it's all about the money. It's fundamentally a money and property scam. Like the way they've set themselves up here, Scientology is registered as private companies here. And it's not just one company they have a suite of companies. Like one company will hold the deeds to the property and look after the property here. Another one then will be over, say, the book sales and auditing they do. So you can rest assured that this place could go tits up, belly up, millions of dollars to loads of creditors, and yet the building itself will be protected. So they're very clever there with the way they do the corporate finances. Thanks very much, Jojo. Oh, you only got 2 hours last night. Fuck me. You need better sleep than that. That's a good sign that my poster that I haven't secured, I managed to catch that from blowing away. So that's a good sign. Little bit low. Them posters are holding good. I'm actually starting to get a little bit confident that my new setup might actually work. Although we haven't gotten any proper gales of wind. But we've gotten enough though that is holding good. Still a few more trickler cars coming in. Thanks very much. Yeah, I was just standing to the side there because there was a teenager with a dog, and I just didn't want to. Just making sure I didn't catch her on the camera. I tried to be mindful and respectful to the locals in there. We don't want to be accidentally impinging anyone. Let them go about their day to day. And she had a lovely read of she's having a lovely read of her signs. And as she was walking back past me there, she said, "Good job." So that's great. So that in itself shows my signs are doing the work for us. So a few more there look like they competing. No, they're just spectating. Although she's carrying some. Oh no, they are competing. He has a suitcase and she's carrying something. So we have a few more competitors turning up. Mods there are hard at work. Canada is absolutely very smart. They're not a religion in Canada. They don't have charity tax relief status here or in Canada. Most places a lot in the world I don't think they do. The UK they don't. In Denmark they don't. They are tax exempt in America and in Australia. I'm not sure if they're tax exempt in a couple of European countries. Possibly in Croatia, but I'm not 100% sure about that. Most of the European countries they are not tax exempt. Not that they're paying any much in the way of taxes here. Because if you think about it, the corporate tax in Ireland is very low. We're 12.5%. And that is assuming these guys are making a profit, which is no way they are. Like when you think an event like this, there's so little turnout. I don't even know if they make any money from the ticket sales. Are they even charging to rent out the auditorium even? Now you could say they would be making a little bit of money maybe in their canteen. They'd be selling some sandwiches and teas and coffees and whatnot. But like when this is, what is it, it's 175,000 square foot of a building. Like the electric to run this place, the electric and heat, the aircon, everything you need to operate a building this size. There's no way they're making any money. At best, they're making pocket change. They're not even, there's no way they'd even, maybe they're making 50 grand a year, if even that, if you know what I mean. So then you're paying what, 4 or 5 grand then in taxes, at best. They don't have any staff to pay, because they're all staff members and religious volunteers. And from what we can see, when they don't have an event here, we see very little people wandering in and out. They're not selling many courses either. Like if you look at the statistics for Ireland, the biggest statistic they have is the head count of people who walk in through the doors, which are that they be factoring in the gymnastics, the Irish dancing event, the cultural events here. It's very hard to find, well, how many courses have you actually sold, lads? Have you made any money? And even at that, how many of those courses were ones that you paid money for and they weren't the freebie ones? Do you know what I mean? I see my mods are working very hard for me. Absolutely say slave labour. Because like at best, they be getting somewhere in the region of 30 to 50 euro a week, if that. They've been put up in accommodation provided by the cult. Like they have been renting, they do rent some properties around Dublin and the Wicklow area. And I'm not sure, they might have since bought some in Wicklow. But someone told me that, but I haven't been able to verify it, that that's not just a rumour rather than being factual. But either way, so you're getting your free bed and lodgings. You're getting a few quid a week for your toiletries and whatnot. You have to buy your own staff uniform, undies and all that kind of lark. You have to buy your own shampoo, shower gel, any sort of thing like that. And even are they providing your food, or are you having to bring your own food? Because certainly from what we've seen here, when we have seen them standing outside on the lunch break, it looks like they're bringing their own little container of food rather than food free of charge in their fancy canteen cafe that they have here. Absolutely, Sophia, who would? That is true. Antics, they don't even provide toilet paper, exactly. And just imagine how hard is it to leave the cult when English isn't your native language. There may be a reason why you came to Ireland to start with. Maybe where you're from, you're fleeing prosecution with the country you're coming from. You're seeking better opportunities in life. The cultists here lump on you like crazy, saying, "I'll come and do all these life improvement courses." Sure, within no time at all, you'll be doubling, tripling, quadrupling your earning capacity and whatnot. So you can see how the immigrants here are easier prey, shall we say, for the cult, and that is also why they are actively targeting them. More than likely, they are antics. We don't know. We don't know for a fact they are in that. We don't have any evidence that you could go to the police or the guards and say, "Look, these guys don't have the passports; they've been kept in the safe." Geez, if we had that, maybe we could do something here to get rid of the cult. But we do know that they're not exactly free to just walk out the nearest door. It's not as simple as that. Absolutely, they have. They're forced up executives to lick bathroom floors clean. Absolutely, they have. And they've been known to lock them in camps. Absolutely. Now, as to what abuses specifically here are the Dublin guys facing, that is where you'd have to say, well, we don't need to know specifically what's happening in there right here, right now. Because of everyone that has spoken out over the years, Scientology is the exact same all the world around. The abuses that was happening back in the day, back in Elron's day, is still happening today, lads. There's been no reforms done. At least I'll say for the authentic religions, they have gone through a lot of reforms over the years and centuries to clean up their acts. At least they do learn from their mistakes. And their goal in life is not about money or abuses. Okay, Jojo, have a good sleep. Where are we now? We're 3:05. I kind of forgot I was out here early. That's a lovely sky, by the way, though, lads. Absolutely lovely sky. That is one thing I will say. The Irish skies are tend to be absolutely gorgeous. Antics is saying feeding staff on punishment. Yeah, rice and beans. Absolutely, that's a popular punishment. But even without punishment, though, the um the dietary recommendations of Elron himself wouldn't exactly be recommended by a nutritionalist. And this reliance on all these dubious vitamins and vitamins that they be flogging the members, which is no coincidence that that's how some of the Scientologists make the money is through running vitamin companies. So tell me if that's not a sneaky way of the cult self-funding itself in a way, helping its members earn money to feed up to Davy Miscavige. Oh, no doubt he is. Yeah, I have heard that before. He gets his sushi flown in daily. Absolutely. His fancy Italian leather suits. Like the amount of money Davy would be burning through every day. This is where I suppose this is where it shows you how deep the cult mindset works. Because anyone who's looking after David Miscavige, which he'd have a lot of assistants pandering to his every need, they can see the amount of money he's rolling in and the expensive gear he's wearing, all the expensive gadgets like that gym he has. He has his own private gym, showers, and all the rest of it. So how could you be okay with that as your leader? While you're struggling, you're eating rice and beans. You see him in all his finery. How does that make sense? And that just shows you how the cult mindset works. Absolutely, Timothy Cruz most definitely does. So, um, there's no way he doesn't know about some of the abuses. Now the question is though, does he see it as an abuses? Maybe he doesn't, because of his status as a Hollywood, the number one celebrity in Hollywood anyway. They tend to have more of a superior attitude, shall we say, in general. And then, of course, with Davy being his best friend, he does have that privileged position. So maybe he genuinely doesn't see anything wrong with his treatment. Or with, trying to give him the benefit of the doubt there. But from a moral point of view, how can he know it? How can he not know that's wrong? Well, I guess that's it though, isn't it? Scientology does feed into that belief that some people are more superior than others. Isn't that their core belief system that they make the what was it? They make the able more able. Absolutely does. He has staff of slave labour, absolutely. So he has to be seen things. He has to witness plenty of things that he knows aren't right. Surely the fuck. Like how disjointed can he be in his thinking? But then what about Elizabeth Moss though? Like she must surely have seen a thing or two in her time. Like when you think about when the celebrities are proactively encouraged that when they're at the event, like say the Oscars or the Emmys, If Leah Remini is there, if she's getting the award, they have to discreetly not be there. They have to all of a sudden make a mad dash for the loo. So how do they not know? How is that? I just don't get it. But then that is if you're in your right mind, you're able to think things through. Which when you're being coherent towards believing in the word of just one man, that for Donald Hubbard, and they tell you, oh, don't believe that Leah Remedy won. Oh, she's just disgruntled because she didn't make it as a 2 OTA. She's just a bit miffed because she couldn't raise as far as Timothy Cruz. Let me just zoom back out there again. Yeah, we're protesting outside the Dublin org of the cult of Scientology. Hey, Hummingbird. And it's a Saturday afternoon at 3:10. I would prefer it's a little bit cooler than it is. It's pretty hot here. But I have some factor on, so it should be okay. Now, we haven't had that much of a wind breeze, but at the same time, my posters are holding pretty good. So I think the new system is definitely working out somewhat. Actually, down this end we get more. It's interesting. There's more of a breeze down at this end. How's it going?
Still keeping at it, well done.
How indeed, has to be done. Well, it is, but like they have an Indian cultural event on there today, where they have it's an Indian beauty pageant
All right.
open to anyone from South Asia. That'd be the Indians, Pakistanis, and they tend to be aggressively targeting the immigrants here, like the Indians, the Russians, the Ukrainians, because they're events that they seem to rent out the space to, very much geared towards. And why wouldn't you run an event here if they're offering you the auditorium for free of charge or for very little money? In a way, you're sort of fit in. Because, like we can tell, there's not many people have turned up here today. Like this,
Actually, no, I would say that too because in the house beside me, they're a Russian who
Yeah.
works there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Constantly. So always in work.
and that's because there's so few members, and obviously a place this size, that even though they're not tricking many people to wander in the doors to do their courses, even at that though, just the sheer size of this building, that's going to be an awful lot of work. They don't have many staff members. That means them poor fuckers, they're working 14, 16-hour days. And if they're lucky, they'll maybe get a day off. And I even wonder, did they even get a day off? Do you know what I mean? But once you get sucked into it, you're kind of trapped. It's like you're trapped inside a prison of your own beliefs. And it's just that's all me. Just why I come out here just to try and plant some seeds. Of people going into that maybe they're not quite this friendly, benign group that they seem to be. Maybe there is some harm here. Maybe I'll do some Googles myself. Because even if it's only one person, that's one person too much, as far as I'm concerned. They shouldn't have, but I sort of understand as well that you don't really want to live in a totalitarian society where the government decide, oh no, you're a cult, you can't open here though. You kind of want you kind of want the freedom as well, but at the same time, why would they allow to call themselves a church when we know they're a cult? It is a cult, but then you could say Taylor Swift, the Swifties are a cult. So being a cult in itself is fine, plus the abuses. And from everything I've seen, these guys are definitely one of the most abusive cults in existence today. Absolutely, they are. Oh, it's below the water. Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, thanks very much. Let me just switch back on the music there. I'm getting better at remembering to pause the music when I'm talking to someone. So that's good. She was having a little read of me signs as she's walking by. Oh, coffee. I wouldn't mind a coffee. Oh, thanks very much, Antics. If you wouldn't mind tickling the like and subscribing to the lovely me and telling all your friends. I'm just going to get myself a wee drink of water. But this is great to see that there has been so little footfall in here today. Considering it's an Indian beauty pageant, and we have what? We've about 100,000 living in Dublin. Probably 150,000 in all of Ireland altogether, but most of them, about 70% of them, will be located in Dublin. So for this to be a turn up to an Indian beauty pageant that officially started 15 minutes ago. Pardon? Oh, I don't smoke, sorry. So someone asked me there, had I a spare cigarette? Never smoked in my life. But I strongly suspect if you did smoke, you wouldn't exactly be wandering around with a spare cigarette in your pocket saying, oh fuck, this spare cigarette is annoying me, what can I do with it? It's taking up needless room in my pocket. Oh, I wonder does anyone want a spare cigarette? Like, how would you have one spare? Do you know what I mean? It's like with them asking, have you any spare change? And I'm there. I always have to resist myself from saying, never ever in my life have I wandered around with pockets full of change thinking, what the heck am I going to do with all this spare change? Clogging up room in my pockets. Oh, me mods are hard at work there. Thanks very much to my lovely mods. So we're seeing another trickle of folks. He's way down with a. I wonder if he's going to be playing some music. Maybe there's going to be music at this event. That looks sort of like a guitar case. That is a guitar case of some sort. That's a guitar case. I don't know what would be in the other type of that's some sort of a wind instrument maybe. Let me just scroll back out again. Let me just zoom out. So you are seeing a small trickle or more. I might zoom all the way out. Trying to say when I smoke cigs I always hated burning one from somebody or bumming one from somebody. I haven't had to bum a cigarette from anyone in over 25 years. Yeah, but it always struck me as a strange thing to say, have you a spare one? Because I imagine no one has a spare one. If you say, like, if you said something more honest, like say, oh, I'm really desperate for a cigarette, would you have one that you could give me by any chance? I'd be, if I was a smoker, I'd be more likely to help someone out. But thankfully, I've never smoked in my life, so we have some more people turning up there. They look like they're spectators. Yeah, they look like spectators, alright. And they're in the fancy blue. Oh yeah, she's there with the bag, so she looks like I reckon she might be a competitor. But like we've only seen maybe I reckon yeah, she looks like a competitor to me. Yeah, and then they're carrying some bags. Yeah, she's definitely a competitor with all the gear. So I wonder if that probably her mum and dad. That's a lot of gear she has though. I wonder how many outfit changes they have in there. You know, I'm sort of curious what the event is like itself. Like, yeah, I could have paid a tenner to get a ticket to go in, but it's not really worth the hassle because you know that there's no way they would have been happy with me turning up even with a paid ticket to be in there having a look around. Although I'd imagine you don't get to wander around too freely. I'd imagine 99% of the doors inside there they'd have firmly locked to prevent anyone having a snoop. I'd say you're ushered to where the auditorium is and that's it. I know where Miriam has to be sociable. Absolutely, my mods absolutely rock. And so does chat. Chat is keeping me company out here. But fuck it, it's not what I chose to be doing on a Saturday afternoon. To be honest, I'd prefer to be knitting somewhere than out here. But them signs are holding some. I'm quietly impressed with my new setup. Does seem to be working. But this is good that we're not seeing much. It's not exactly a sellout, shall we say, this event. We're seeing a handful of people that look like they're competing, and maybe a couple of dozen attending the event. Now, you could say of the 15, 20 cars I was here before I turned up, maybe some of them turned up early to get ready, get their hair and makeup done, possibly. But I'm kind of curious to know how many would be attending this event. Might be something to keep an eye on the Scientology socials to see. Or maybe not the Scientology socials. Maybe the crowd running this event. Will surely be posting up some pictures of it after. That might be interesting to see. Can we gauge how many people have been actively competing on this? But I did think, to be honest, I did think there'd be a much larger turnout than this when it's a Indian beauty event. What was the prize money? I forgot what the prize money was. There was prize money for first, second, and third place. Was it maybe 3,000 for first place? And then with third place being 500. Something like that, I think. Can't quite remember, but it was €100 to compete. And then depending on what type of a seat you purchased to watch it in the auditorium, it was 10, 20 or 30 € was the pricing plan. So even if they did get the auditorium rented here for free of charge, it's hard to see how the organisers themselves will be making much money out of this event. Well, there were a few more families there turning up. That's a family with younger children. I wonder if somebody they know is competing here. Is that why they've turned up? Yeah, you that poor lady with the walking stick again. I wonder if she here doing courses. She must be a public Scientologist. I'm sort of thinking that maybe she's a public Scientologist. Because if she was a staff member, she wouldn't be able to be out here as long. Now, she seems to come out frequently for posts on her. I'm not sure that is. I think that might be a vape she has rather than cigarettes. Or is it one of those mouthpieces that people put on cigarettes? Taking that will do less damage to the lungs. Yeah, I think I might put that one on a bit of string to use next time as a sandwich board. Because it's just a bit awkward to hold up. Although let me think about this. If I stuck some twine on the back of it, I could attach the pole when I got out here and put the pole in my backpack. Yeah, but a few ideas what I can do with this sign. Because ideally I do want that on a permanent display to the yard. But my backpack isn't quite tall enough to put on my backpack. Well, if I had a pole I could put in my backpack, yeah. I'll have to think about that. I am curious though as to what does meet their criteria for when they put up that horrible green netting. Like it could be they didn't expect to see me out here when it's normally of a Sunday I pop out. But then it would have looked bad though. It would have looked bad to have the green netting up when you're running a cultural event. You wouldn't want to be losing people turning up thinking that they were in the wrong place. Suppose we'll find out as we come out here more how often they do use the green netting. Silas saying, when I was very young, I was tapped to be an ambassador to some Junior Miss something or other pageant. Oh, wow. Antics is saying religion all is based on the money scam. Religion should be based on love. Love of humanity, no harm. That's a lovely way of putting it, Antics. Absolutely, it should be based on love. Love of humanity. Absolutely. And when you think about one of the fundamental beliefs of Scientology is that they're here to make the able more able. That in itself to me is blatantly wrong. The way I look at things is we should be helping to level the playing field. We should be helping the less able to be more able to level the playing field. You know what I mean? Not making the able more able, because obviously the able are able to look after themselves. Silas saying she got zero training and she was assigned to Junior Miss India. Oh, interesting. That was wild. It took her 3 hours to wrap the folds of her sari, and I never met her more condescending. Oh wow. That maybe it's not a surprise. Maybe there is a certain arrogance that goes with the beauty pageants. If you see yourself as being superficially beautiful enough to be doing one of these pageants, it's not something I've ever had any interest in. Absolutely, just don't understand it. It's beyond my autistic brain anyway, or why you'd want to bother with all this messing, nor how it could possibly be enjoyable. Like to me, clothes are purely functional. You put on clothes to keep warm, clothes to keep warm, and for public decency, I suppose you wear clothes. But not even public decency. Who cares about that? Well, it's practical to wear clothes when you think about it. You definitely don't want too much naked flex for beasties to be stinging and biting. Jenny said, "My husband has been 9 months smoke free." Oh, fantastic! That is fantastic to hear, Jen, because it's not easy to give up the smokes. Oh yeah, sorry. I was wise to text. I was thinking, Saul, that your spelling is normally better than that. So we have some more. They look like they be spectators. I'm just zoom back out. A couple of kids going in there. Might be another competitor over here. He's definitely carrying a large plastic box with stuff in it. So possibly, oh, I wonder if maybe she's one of the celebrities. Oh, that's man in the suit. So he's a staff member. That guy in the suit is definitely a Scientology staff member. She might be a celebrity that's here. He's there in his gold vest. That lady in the yellow sari. I think she might be an Indian celebrity because allegedly now I think they have 3 Indian celebrities at this event. Well, celebrities in the never heard of them before, but I think one of them is an ex-model. One of them was back in her day involved in Miss World representing India. And I think the other one is or was a Bollywood star, or at least on TV, and she possibly was in a few films as well. So definitely they'd be well known in the Indian circles. So I thought they wouldn't be exactly here volunteering the time for free. They'd be paid to be here. So there's no way these guys are making much money at this event. And by that I mean the organisers, not Scientology. So so I wonder. They're definitely not paying any real money for renting out the place, that's for sure. There's no way they could be. Because just on normal ticket sales itself, they're not making that much money based on the amount of footfall we've seen here. It's interesting the way the staff member there in his silver vest seems to be. Is he escorting them in and out? He certainly does seem to be keeping a close eye on them, is he? No, he's heading down that way now. They do have strange habits when you look at these Scientologists out when they're out and about doing their thing. I can never quite work out what exactly they are doing. Oh, the sun is shining on me. Hang on. Absolutely, the calling crew does rock. Miriam, Antics, Jennifer, absolutely, they all rock. Lara, oh, the Gigi, and we have Arthur, allegedly, is it alleged CA or alleged CA? I started calling him as well. Absolutely fantastic to see. Wonder what these two dudes are. Oh, they know where they're going anyway. How are they public or they be? So they're obviously part of the event organising. They're bringing in enough stuff anyway. We have some more people that's going to zoom out there because there's a few kids there, so I'll just zoom out. I'll give them a bit of privacy. Although I don't need to, but I prefer to give them a bit of privacy. There's nothing to be gained by capturing them anyway. So we are seeing it's 3:30, so we are seeing a little bit more people turn up, but not really that many though. Like at best, you could be generous and say maybe there's 100 people at this event, and that's I think pretty generous. Absolutely, Jennifer did a fantastic job at the public works. Absolutely, everybody did. Absolutely, Kathy is a massive part. She's a massive support to everybody, so she is. Nothing to say. Tell me, how do I gel on my nails last night and wake up with one nail naked? Oh, I don't know. I don't go in for the dark arts of painting my nails and gluing things on my nails. All I do with my nails is I bite them, and when I bite them, I clip them really short to stop myself from biting them. That's the type of nail care I do. And Dixie says she wiped them with alcohol first, but must have gotten oil in one of them. Oh, well, possibly. Middle finger on your right hand too. Oh, that's a good one to lose, I reckon. Yeah, I like that. That would make it more. It'd be more emphasis using the right finger, the middle finger. Yeah, that is fantastic one to lose. All right. I think she's going for coffee. I wouldn't mind a coffee. I wouldn't mind a nice coffee about now. Iced coffee with extra cream. There's a bloke going in. That's a young dad. He's only in his 20s going in with a baby. He knows where he's going. So is he turning up then to do some courses then? So there's certainly been a few people that have turned up that look like they're possibly public Scientologists. A few more, another trickle of events. These events don't exactly start in time. We're getting more people turning up now. Like it did say from 3 to 10. But I guess if you bought a ticket, they probably send you an email with the itinerary breakdown. So that's that guy again carrying in more plastic containers of stuff. So I'd imagine he's part of the guys organising the event. So they're still setting up then. Yeah, we're getting a bit more of a trickle of people in there now. There's that lady again in the yellow sari. So she seems to be coming in out with them as well. So they must be the organisers. That's another load of stuff to bringing in there now. I'll just zoom back out again. Yeah, it probably is more about prestige than the money. Than any of you setting up. I suppose you need to start somewhere when you're new. Like the organisers behind this will be a relatively new event company, specifically to tap into the South Asian and Indian market here. So I guess your first few events you probably are going to start small until you start to gain a foothold and maybe attract more clientele then as time goes on. I wonder, is they here as spectators or are they taking it? Oh, they look like spectators. Like the sari dresses that the Indians wear in general at these events are very pretty. You know, I'll say that their frocks are absolutely pretty. Oh, thanks very much, Jenny. If you would be also kind as to smash the like, give me a subscribe, and maybe tell all your friends. Some fella out for a jog for himself. Fair play to him because it's very warm today. Geez, I'm sweating buckets and I'm just standing here. But 'tis indeed a warm day. Certainly is doing a fantastic job. It's holding well too. Oh, hey, Billy, absolutely, absolutely. Us Irish need to watch out for the sun. We're not built for it at all. It's in our Celtic blood. We don't fare well in the sun at all. It's more the autumn. The cooler autumn weather is more our speed. Cathy is saying if she knew how to DoorDash, she sent me one there. Like I have thought about bringing a flask with me, but the only thing there is if I was to be consuming coffee out here, then I'd need to nip behind the bushes to relieve myself. Do you know what I mean? So I think I'll stick with bottles of water. Oh wow, Jennifer's about to have a thunderstorm. Oh wow. Billy is saying, do you know the Galactic Empire lives there for it? Absolutely. Absolutely he does. Alright, Billy is saying he got 50 subs last night. Oh, that is fantastic. That's a lot of subs again in one evening. Fantastic, Billy. So Billy says he's here to learn the business from a pro. Well, you can probably learn what not to do by watching me, because I'd be very much of a novice status. Bumbling my way through, as they say. There you have another lady there in her staff uniform. I haven't seen her here before, so we have definitely does seem to be more staff members in attendance today. So that definitely nobody's gotten a holiday today anyway. I'd say all the Scientology staff members anywhere around Ireland is probably based here today to be funding this, to be helping out with this event. Oh, thanks very much for subbing and liking. Billy is saying 20 minutes in the sun and he's roasted. If you feel thinking sell in the shade for a bit, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm alright for now anyway. But I have been known in the excessive heat to drop like a sack of hot potatoes. Where it's lights out Vienna for me. I'm not sure how long I'm out cold for before I come round again. But I have to say, it's happened a few times in my life and it is scary. So I do try to take precautions. Just going to take a sip of water. So I do have 2 big bottles of water with me. And you can see there the water isn't exactly clear. I put electrolyte tablets in my water there as well for the extra whatchamacallit that you get in the electrolytes. I think it makes it more hydrating than just water alone. Oh, he's taking a picture. I wonder if she's one of the celebrities. Is that why he was out taking her picture out front? Because I think, as far as I know, from the little bit of information I did find, there are 3 Indian celebrities at this event. Look at that, me signs are holding up firm there, lads. So I think this new system is a good one. So for anyone new that has joined, what I've done is, on the back there, I've used some outdoor. So that's a good sign. My freestanding one is blown over, so we know we're getting the wind. So I've used some outdoor grill attack to attach the top part to the wall. And then here, these are just lightweight ankle and wrist weights. There, what are they? 0.5 for the 2. So that's 1/4 kilogram each. And what I did was, I just made a little leg there to rest the weight on it with plastic. And that just seems to. Oh, bloody hell, lad. What's going on here? Oh, Jesus, my gimbal's gone mad. Whoa, 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 whoa. Stop, stop, stop. Oh, my goodness. Let me mess with these buttons. That went a bit. That gimbal had a life of its own. Thief, man. Oh, no, I don't like that setting either. Let me try this one. Jesus. Am I zoomed in? No, I'm not zoomed in. Okay, that seems a better setting. Flip. One of these days I'll learn what the 3. I think it's there's a 4 settings. I'm not really sure what the difference are. But it does seem to, the gimbal does respond to your hand movements, which probably is not a good thing. But my hand seems to do its own thing. It seems to operate independently on my brain anyway, that's for sure. So we're getting a few gusts of wind there, and them signs are standing firm, so that is good. I knew my system does work. Just going to check the tops of the signs there. They're pretty solid. Okay, that's good. So much better than last week, lads, if you remember. Every few minutes I was running after one of my signage. So it's definitely a winner, that technique. Absolutely, we need to keep hydrated. That's probably the one. That's probably the best thing you can do against the sun, is to keep yourself hydrated and in the shade, obviously. We're not too badly exposed here because we do have a lot of trees all the way around, which is most definitely a help. And we do have a cooling breeze that does come in because we have the Dublin Mountains there in the distance. We have the Dublin Mountains. You can probably see a glimpse of them there in the background. It's hard to see them, I know, because of all the trees that we have. Oh, that's some breeze there. That's a good sign. They're holding firm. I can see this one is holding a little bit. Yes, black mountain. It took a lot of the gorilla attack though, because the wall is, cause like that's the way the wall is. He's pretty jaggedy, if you know what I mean, and he's not smooth at all. So some parts I had to use quite a thick layer of the attack. Well, it's not so much the quantity that matters. Once it does the job, we're happy. That one, I do want a better system for this one. Just a bit too awkward to hold in my hand. I do want to bring a stick to put on, where I can either hold it by the stick and manage to rig it on top of my backpack somehow. Ah, thanks very much. Dead right, it is a cult.
Stop sleeping sometime. Started doing it just to the
What does Sophia say? Oh, aloe vera is your friend. Absolutely is. That's very good for cooling the skin after getting burnt. Billy is saying, yes, Sophia's great. I put 2 in my shed once and forgot about them for 2 years. Oh wow, but they survived. Oh wow, fantastic. Sophie has to keep the Sasha's fingers away from the buttons. Yeah, I do try, but somehow, I don't know. Hey Kelly, how are you? We're just outside here, outside the Dublin org of the Cult of Scientology of a Saturday afternoon where it's 3:45. And thankfully there's not that many people here. Like between the front and back car park. But maybe 40 cars in total. Which isn't much considering that they're having an Indian cultural event on here today from 3 to 10 o'clock, where it's an Indian beauty pageant. So that is great to see that the turnout isn't great. Like how the organizer even making a profit. But then maybe they don't need to make a profit, so you need to start somewhere, I guess, when you're a relatively new company. Like they're charging €100 for a contestant enter. And then depending on what tier seating you're going for in the auditorium to spectate, I think the price range was €10, €20 and €30. So there's no way they're not making any real money at this event whatsoever. Now I guess you'd be selling some sandwiches and teas and coffees and that kind of thing. You'd be selling the refreshments, I guess. But definitely no money for the cult to be made here, which I guess is more about the PR and generating the goodwill and painting the false illusion that you're a friendly, benign group. And maybe, lads, why not come in on your spare time? Maybe pop in for a free personality test or do a free course. Where's the harm in that? Don't be minding that crazy lady out in the high vis. She's a nutter. She's a nutter being influenced by a crazy lady in Denmark and crazy ladies in LA. Honestly, I wonder, do they? I'd be curious to know how they explain me out here. Because we know Osa does watch all of these streams. And they'll most certainly know that, at the very least, they'll know that I do mod for Audit and for Miriam. And they'll also know that I've popped over to Copenhagen a few times to protest with her as well. So I'll be interested in what kind of story that they do tell people. Because it's clear, me here in my high vis cap with cult on it, and my Stop Abuses high vis t shirt, I'm obviously not a reporter covering this event, you know what I mean? Hey, Haggis, how are you? Wait till I show you my new system for the signage. I've gotten some outdoor grill attack, specifically for reusable on bricks, to attach the top of the signs to the wall there. I've made some plastic legs at the bottom to prop some. They're a combination of ankle weights and wrist weights. Each individual one is quarter of a kilo each. What seems to be doing the job, like it's holding firm. And we've had a few gusts of wind as well to give it a bit of a test. So I'm actually pleased with that system. Okay, we see a few more popping up there, but nowhere near the numbers you'd expect if they were making any real money out of this event. So that is good to see. Ah, thanks very much, Billy. I thought Billy is saying you're doing a great job, Irish Mark. Of all the religions, Scientology and Mormons deserve the most attention as they are most obvious. Absolutely, but and that is where I'd say Scientology, the Mormons, the LDS Church, the JWs, the Jehovah's Witnesses, they're not a religion, they are cults. Absolutely, cult 101. They match all the criteria for a cult. And I just hate the way that they're allowed to call themselves a religion. Now I understand that you can't really be well there is what am I trying to say? I've gotten tripping over my words there. There's some more people popping in. I know you can't really be protecting the use of the word religion and to be like how hard would that be to be definitively and say, okay, Catholic Church, okay, he's a religion. The Church of Ireland, he's a religion. Scientology, oh, he's a cult. Like you could do the more obvious ones, but then you start to get into very difficult territory if you start to look at all the groups. There's a lot of new religious and spiritual new age religions that have set up in the latter years. And it seems to me every other day there's a new religion or some sort of a spiritual thing is setting up. So it wouldn't even be possible to be trying to classify, well, this one is definitively a safe religion. This one is most definitely a cult of white lads. And I guess that is where that comes into it then is what I'm trying to say is probably the better approach is for people to make themselves more cult aware, to read something like Stephen Hassan's Combat and Cult Mind Control book. That'll give you a much better idea of what a cult is and why they are harmful and dangerous. It's all about the long con, Kelly. Because by hosting the event, you're getting people in through the doors. You're fall safe fighting them because they are so friendly and they love bombing. They do have I'm not sure how many of those large widescreen TVs they do have inside playing that we playing 24/7 in the Scientology TV. They have plenty of brochures and whatnot there. The front desk is absolutely clustered with all their brochureware. There are plenty of pamphlets in there you can pick up. So definitely they're using this as a starting point just to fall safe point people in that they are just a benign organisation. And maybe pop in your free leisure time. Maybe pop in for a free course or to do a free personality test. I believe say Gaelic George somewhere white apron across the landscape is their theology and Caleb is the winter god of the glazier. dropping stones on rocks as she melted in 10,000 BC. And that's it. Always be recruiting. See, this is it. It's kind of more of the. Now, are they getting anyone to sign on the dotted line to become a Scientologist right here, right now at this event? Probably not. But are they setting themselves up for recruiting one of these guys in the future? Absolutely, they are. They're. Hey, why is my music stopped? Let me just. I don't know why sometimes it stops playing. But definitely, you'd have to imagine that someone will see all their brochure in there and think, geez, they were nice. They seemed like nice, friendly lads in there. Maybe I'll pop in and see for myself. Maybe I will do that free personality test or do a free course. I wonder if she another competitor. Or maybe that's part of the organising team. Maybe she's one of the celebrities. He's in a fancy white suit with a big Jew suitcase. Because I think, as far as I know, they were getting 3 Indian celebrities over at this event. Now, it was scheduled to start at 3 o'clock and last until 10. We're still seeing more people turning up. But then it could have been a 3 o'clock start. Maybe that's when doors was opening, but the event kicking off a bit later. Yeah, it sort of makes sense. You'd want people to turn up a bit beforehand. So what are we now? We're 5 to 4. So I wonder when does the event kick off then? Maybe it's more 4 o'clock is kicking off. Although, how do they do these pageant events? Would they have someone out playing a bit of music and that first? Yeah, maybe they would. You'd have to have a bit of filler. Because sure, how long would a pageant itself last? Probably not that long. You need to fill in the gaps and stuff, I guess. Absolutely, Jennifer. Just walking in, they'd see all the cult literature, and then they do have. I'm not sure is it 3 or 4 the large widescreen television screens that they have on the walls in there. They've all sorts of stuff on the walls. The reception desk is cluttered with all sorts of stuff. They've all sorts of pamphlets. I'm not sure what they have in the corners there. Maybe they have a little. They probably have a little bookshop, I would imagine, set up in there somewhere. Or maybe they do try to sell an old book or two. Or do you have the agreement? Actually, that's something to look into. Would they have a gentleman's agreement not to be trying to flog any of the Scientology literature? Or would the organisers even think of that? That's an avenue to look into now because I'm curious about that now. Attic says, yeah, we've a course for that. Buy a book, absolutely. AJP is saying, I'm a victim of Scientology abuse. And would that be, if that's in the States, JJP, I highly recommend you check out this website here. Check out victimsofvoices.com, which contains survivor stories, but also it contains support and resources available, legal help to help report the abuses of Scientology, such as child abuse, elder abuse, financial fraud, forced labor, and ID theft, just to name a few. So I highly recommend you check out victimsofvoices.com. Absolutely, there, Jennifer. They are proactively targeting the Indian and Pakistani community here, which is they are our largest non-native Irish group that live here. They also try to target the Eastern Europeans. They do try and target the Ukrainians, the Russians, the Polish, the Romanians here, and there are a few of them are staff members in there. I think I've seen maybe I've only seen one or two that look like they're native Irish people. Everyone else are East European in origin. And we have seen signs over this past year, me coming out here, that they do seem to manage to have recruited in some of the Indians anyway. And the way I look at it, even if it's just recruiting one person, that's one person too many. Where we know there is zero good in Scientology. It's nothing but one form of abuse or another. Billy is saying, no other creed or religion can compare to the original Irish theology. I'm so proud of the first ones on the ice, up on the ice to see Ireland coming back. Yeah, the Celtic, there's a lot to be said for the Celtic theology, that's for sure. But see, this is it. With all the theologies, all the religions, all the spiritualisms that we have through the ancient times, what the fuck do we need all these new age religions for? Don't we have enough fucking ancient ones to go around, lads? Like, isn't there already something for everybody? Cathy is saying, she's told me you have a wanted poster with a picture and they tell everyone not to pay attention to you. Absolutely, they probably do. No doubt they say, yeah, she's a bit cuckoo. Don't be minding her at all. But it doesn't matter if they are because they're still planting the seeds. Because even at that, though, you wouldn't necessarily be taking the cult's word for it. Yeah, maybe it would plant enough seeds of them for them to do a little bit of their own independent research. Like, that's why I want for them to come away and do a few Googles to try and understand. Okay, even if she is a bit loopy and disgruntled with Scientology for every reason, maybe I'll do a bit of independent research and see, is there something more to this benign friendly group? Plus, maybe there is something to these abuses that lady there seems to think Scientology is guilty of. Do you know what I mean? So that in itself is helping to do the job, which is why I do like being out here in I have my high vis cap on it with Colt on it, and my high vis shirt I have Stop the Abuses written on it. Because I do like the high vis, because it does catch the eye. You can see there I'm reflected up in the upper window, you can see my reflection. So there's no way they can't see me. They definitely do see me loud and clear inside in the org. Antics is saying, oh, I want some Irish too, maybe. Oh, yeah, Antics, you could. You could make me and Roger a wanted poster. That would be cool. Absolutely. Absolutely, AJPJ. Just be careful. Oh, the LDS is the Latter day Saints. They're a hardcore group of the Mormons. They're the ones that still believe in the teachings of the guy who's in prison for doing horrific essay with children. Warren Jeffs, isn't that the guy? And I think they're also the ones, isn't it the LDS, the Latter day Saints? Aren't they the ones that believe in polygamy? And that it's okay to be marrying your sister, your wife's sister, and to be marrying your brother's daughter and all that kind of nonsense. It was them lads. I seen a podcast recently I listened to on the LDS where they've started to do now, lads. Would you believe they've started doing blood tests on their perplexer before they do make new wives to do blood tests to see if there might be any genetic abnormalities because of all the inbreeding they've done over the years of marrying the fucking their brother's children and their cousins and whatnot. So now they're doing genetic testing to try and reduce the genetic deformities. Because I've heard all sorts of stories where there's some couples they found that 4 of the 5 children that they're producing have been born stillborn because of the close inbreeding that they do. Absolutely, Kathy. Yeah, the Aftermath Foundation most definitely can help. Yeah, that is what 12 years has been as something that Steve Hassan has found. That book is definitely well worth reading by Dr. Stephen Hassan, Combating Cult Mind Control. He's very knowledgeable on a lot of cults, in particular Scientology, and he was a former member of the Moonies himself. And he has said that, based on his all his years' experience, it does take 12 years to recover from Scientology. Where some cults you're talking about, it's a matter of weeks or months, but Scientology is by far the worst one to detangle yourself. It's all the layers of mindfuckery. It's like if you think of it like peeling an onion. If you think of an onion with so many layers, that just takes you that long just to process and go through and work through all the layers of mindfuckery. It really does turn someone's world upside down. All the belief they're conned into believing in Scientology, all that stripped away from you. What you thought was your core identity is now gone in effect, and you're having to try and rebuild from scratch and work out who you truly are. Absolutely, Jennifer. Scientology likes to destroy whole families and isolate people. Absolutely, they do. Thanks very much. Antics is sharing victimsofvices.com. Thanks very much for sharing the link. So we're seeing a trickle of more people turning up there, all right. It's definitely not as it's definitely not anywhere near as busy as you'd expect a beauty pageant to be. So I do wonder, is it that because it is on out here in the cult, that it puts off a lot of people coming out here, which in itself is good. But it does mean though that anyone that does walk through those doors, it's lovely getting the beep of the horn. Anyone that does walk through those doors to do an event, I suppose, and itself means that you probably are that little bit more susceptible, with a little bit more of a trust in nature that you don't see the dangers of walking in through there. That's a nice sari that lady has on in the red. That's the kind of sari I wouldn't mind wearing myself. Jennifer is saying, oh, thanks very much, direct AJP towards the Aftermath Foundation. Absolutely, that's another good one. Antics, absolutely, we do not advocate against violence of any sort. Absolutely not, we don't know. We're out here protesting Scientology because we care. We're here because we care. We don't want to see anyone else fall for the mindfuckery that is Scientology. If we can stop more people joining Scientology, that in itself is a way of stopping future victims of Scientology. I just seen a van slow down there to have a little read on me posters, which is good. I like to see when you see traffic stopping a little bit to have a bit of a read. That's another way of getting the wording out. Sorry, we're 7 minutes past one. We're seeing more trickles of people in. I'm actually thinking, I wonder what you would have gotten more details once you bought a ticket of when this event really is starting up. When is the beauty stuff itself starting? Well, you would have got an itinerary, I guess. It makes sense with a bit of music. A bit of singing, dancing first, I guess, before the beauty part. I'm just wondering, would it have been worth my while to spend a tenner to get a ticket, just to see what the itinerary is? But then to do that, I'd have to give me credit card details, which I wouldn't have done anyway. So that's not a runner. I'm definitely not handing over my credit card details to anyone affiliated in any shape or form with this cult. They're nicely. She has a sash around her, but some of the Indians do wear a sash like that as part of their normal fancy outfits. Wonder what that lady has in her bag there. Flowers. That looks like a bag of individual. You know them individual plastic flowers that you sell at events to try and calm the bloke into buying a flower for his sweetheart. That's what that looked like she had in her little carrier bag. Oh, thanks very much for that, Cathy. Absolutely, yeah, the best revenge is living a good life. Living a good, happy, content life absolutely is the best revenge. Absolutely they do, Billy. They split you from your friends and family first. No brainer, so you can't ask anyone for help and support later on. Absolutely. But it's also the main reason why I think Scientology do it is if you if you leave Scientology and you're still in contact with your family and friends who are still in Scientology, you've left. As more than likely you're going to slowly work away and your family's still inside to try and help them see the light, shall we say. So to make it more likely your family members and friends will eventually leave Scientology as well. That's why they're so stringent about forcing the disconnections, because they know full well that's the only way, the only hope in hell they have with trying to hold on to your family members is by forcing them to sever all ties. And as to where the staff here came from, it's mostly Eastern Europeans from I can see are the staff members inside here. Have they recruited them locally or did they recruit them in their own native countries and traffic them over here? Because we do have the freedom of movement within Europe, particularly if they're part of the EU. You do have the freedom of movement, so they would be free to live and work here and whatnot. Yeah, but like, yeah, possibly antics. It could be someone just trolling or someone working for us, or is just someone having whatever. But you know what? It's no harm because maybe, do you know, just maybe we have educated, maybe we have just educated AJP a bit. And if he is anyway affiliated with the cult, maybe this might be helping to plant a few seeds of doubt for them. Either way, I think it's no harm. Oh, so I see. I missed. Oh, thanks very much. I see my mods are busy working away there. Oh, I see. So yeah, possible second attempt to outside this chat. Well, go try with that. Nice try there is all I can say. Absolutely, we're lovers, not fighters. We're out here protesting against the abuse of Scientology because we care. We care about the former members, the current members, and we care about the future members. And that's mainly why I'm out here with my high vis signage and my high vis shirt and cap. Is that we don't want to see anyone new fall victim to Scientology. And if we can at all, more than happy to help any of the current members leave. Kathy says she likes the method also. Oh, I see Antics is correcting me. Oh, Warren Jeff says the FLDS. Oh, so the FLDS, that's the fundamental Latter day Saints. Okay, I stand corrected. But I think the LDS are the ones that do the polygamy as well, don't they? And where they have the very loose morals when it comes to you can marry your wife's sister or you could marry your brother's kids. Or is that the fundamentalist uh, LDS guys? Kathy is saying after all I was told once I was also and you never got your pay. Well, it's only $47 and that's on a good day, Kathy. So I guess you weren't matching, you weren't exceeding your targets for on your pay. Okay, so it's okay. Okay, I stand corrected. Jeff is the leader of the FLDS. I get confused with all these different offshoots. But like at the end of the day, all of these offshoots is they're all cults. They're all purely money orientated when you have to give your 10% tidings. And if someone of your family leaves your organization, you're forced to disconnect. Absolutely. Absolutely, Sophia. Cathy did deliver quality work. Billy is saying Irish Marty, you know the Irish artist Jim Fitzpatrick. He paints very beautiful pictures. Oh, I don't know him, I'll have to check him out. So Jim Fitzpatrick is an Irish artist who paints very beautiful pictures of the Gaelic gods and goddesses. Oh wow, that's right up my alley. I'll have to look out for him. Okay, Jim Fitzpatrick. I'll need to check that out later. Thanks very much, Billy. Thanks for the heads up. I love our ancient folklore. I still am, Billy. I still am very nervous. Each time I come out here, I never quite know what to expect. And I'm not a natural. I'm not even a natural talker in general. Like, I'd be perfectly happy to spend my entire week without talking to a single soul, would you believe? I'd very much be a quiet, introverted person. But it's sort of hard to do a live stream if you don't talk, if you know what I mean. So I kind of have to make an effort to talk, you know what I mean? But yeah, the first day I came out here doing a live stream, oh, you're not going to believe this, but it took me a half hour, and I'm not even lying when I say this. I'm deadly serious. It took me half an hour the first time to hit the go live button. And then the next time I came out, the second time I was live streaming, I was here live streaming away for a good 20 minutes before I noticed the stream was still marked private, not public. I wasn't live streaming at all. I thought I was just doing static recording. But sure, it's a good way to learn is through your mistakes. Antics are saying sorry, not sorry. Oh yeah, it's a capital S. I don't know about that, Cathy. I muddle my way through somehow. Oh, that's a good idea. You're right, Billy. That's a good idea. I could. Yeah, I probably should. I probably should have my channel name on a poster with a QR code. That would be a good idea. Absolutely, that is. I agree, Sophie. The Servies are absolutely stunning. Absolutely, they are. Billy is saying, yes, Cathy is great. I like this platform. It's always windy where I'm recording. I need to pick better spots. Yeah, well, that's Ireland in a nutshell, Billy. You're guaranteed to win the sun. And more times than not, there'll be rain along the way. Oh, that's fantastic. More beeps there. Definitely should think about putting my channel name on one of the high vis signs with a QR code. That is a fantastic idea. Absolutely. Wind is definitely a part of life. And I'm thankful for the windy breeze out here today because it is in the low 20s. It is pretty warm. And that a cooling breeze is saving me from overheating, that's for sure. Sophie is saying, Billy, wind is part of life. JBL headphones work surprisingly well to suppress the wind noise. Yeah, I use the noise cancelling headphones I have a Soundcore, which Soundcore is part of the Anchor brand of products, which I absolutely love their gear. Billy says, I will get JBL headphones. My friend in America just left his church. Well, see, and that is where, Billy, that is where I would say I'd be 99.99999% confident. It wasn't a church he left, it was a cult. 10% is most definitely a church. Fuck that bullshit. I'll stand up in the court of law and swear in a stack of Bibles. 10% of your income to any organisation is absolutely a cult. Definitely not a church in any shape or format. Oh, I love that. So he refused. Good on him. They excommunicated him because he couldn't suck in blood dry out of his money. And he's now started a YouTube channel called My TH Vision. Ah, fantastic. I'll check that out after this, Billy. Absolutely fantastic. Sophia is saying, oh, she can do video calls by the North Sea in winter regularly with the JBL headphones. Oh, fucking, that's full on storm season. And people don't hear the storm. That's absolutely fantastic. Hey, Molly Moon. We're outside the Dublin org of the Cult of Scientology of a Saturday afternoon, 20 past 4. And thankfully, there's not too many, but maybe in total between front and back car park. If we're lucky, we have maybe 50 cars here. They do have an Indian cultural event on today where they're running a Indian beauty pageant. Well, like they're not. This is not great numbers for a beauty pageant, really. Do you know what I mean? That is great to see. That this is the best they can do. And something that you'd imagine would be a crowd puller among the Indian community here, because we do have a large Indian population here, where there easily will be 100,000 Indians living between Indians and Pakistanis would easily be living in Dublin. So they haven't done too good now. I know it's probably early days for these things, which all the more reason for me to keep an eye out on when they do run these events that pop out here with my high vis signage. And even like you can see standing here, I have my high vis cap on with Colt on it. My high vis shirt where I have Stop the Abuse is written on it. So there's no way they don't see me standing here. And that in itself is doing, just seeing me here, my high vis is doing my work for me, really. And you can see there, my high vis does get nicely reflected in the upper windows. So there's no way they don't see me standing out here. Really is saying, that's crazy, Sophia. I need to get those. My bad. Oh, €5 ones. Oh, Jesus, I know. They'd be absolutely useless, Billy. €5, definitely not. Antics is saying, yeah, God forbid your religion leads with love and kindness instead of making disconnect from family. Absolutely, yeah. And anyone, and I'll stand over this to the hilt, that any religion asking for 10% of the income, that is a cult. Absolutely, it is. Oh, thanks very much, Billy. Yeah, maybe you can't hear my voice, but most definitely inside, I most definitely do not feel like a natural. But somehow I managed to come out here and I muddled my way through somehow. But by no means do I claim to be a pro whatsoever. Most definitely I'm a novice at this kind of lark. There still is, there's a few more trickle there. 22 minutes past 4. There is still a little trickle more people here. But by no means the numbers you'd be expecting at a Indian cultural event where it's a Indian beauty pageant, which you'd have to imagine they'd be having the singing and the dancing here as well to try and entice people in. It's like, how are they even making? I don't even know they'd be making much profit out of it, all the event organisers. When you think about, they're charging €100 for the people to take part in the beauty contest. They're charging between 10 and €30 a seat to sit and watch the event. Now, granted, they'll sell a few munchies. They'll be selling some sandwiches and dinners and teas and coffees and whatnot. Some light refreshments and that, but even still. Now, I guess they've low overheads. They're not exactly paying much to rent a space off of Scientology. So I guess maybe you don't need many ticket sales. Oh, these are fancy outfits here. Oh, these are nice sparkly outfits. Let me see, can I zoom in and capture these sparkly outfits as they walk up? These are nice now. Oh, she stopped her under. Oh, they just stopped there. I wonder why they stopped there. Can I capture them in the camera? Yeah, she's just behind the bush there, but that's a lovely sparkly outfit she has on her. I wonder why she just stood there. Ah, the guy is fixing her dress somehow, is he? Oh, he's doing something with her dress. So I wonder if she one of the celebrities then. And that looks like her daughter then is in a matching dress. Let's see, can we capture them as they come out? Hey Donna, how are you? Yeah, I love the Soundcore ones, absolutely. I love Soundcore. I love Soundcore and I love anything in the Anchor brand or products. They're absolutely the best. The best value for money, price wise and quality wise. Yeah, but it is a nice surprise for me to be out here every Saturday. It's because they're running an Indian cultural event on here today, where it's an Indian beauty pageant, where they are aggressively targeting the Indian population here, and it kind of makes sense when you think of it. The Indian population would be our largest non-native Irish ethnic group here, and there'd be easily would be 100,000 Indians and Pakistanis based in Dublin, possibly 150,000 spread throughout all of Ireland. 100,000 of them will be based here, if not more. Yeah, easily 70% of them will be based in Dublin. Billy is saying you're Irish smart. That guy who beat was definitely a sub. There goes another sub. Yeah, big sign, and you could photo or a QR code. I like the idea. That's definitely worth a shot, Billy. I definitely will do that. Yeah. Billy is saying you're Irish smart. The church is one of those small Bible Belt ones with no official oversight of the basic robbing people with press tactics. Yeah, and that's where I struggle with the word religion, because all of these little Bible Belt groups, and I understand that in theory there's nothing stopping you opening the Bible, having a prayer group meeting with your friends, and inviting them around for tea and biscuits and reading a few quotes of the Bible. Like in theory, there's nothing wrong with that, but can you go and call that religion and be charging people money and whatnot? Do you know what I mean? That's where that sounds to me, yeah, teetered firmly into the cult territory there, and that's where I'd be saying I wouldn't be comfortable using the word religion in that context. So Billy is saying Derek from Mitt Vision and his channel. He has a massive channel now where he warns people like, oh, fantastic! I'll definitely check him out. I'll definitely check out your pal Derek, because that's the kind of content I do enjoy watching as well. I like to be more aware of these different religions and cults are out there. Absolutely, great shout out, Antics. Ask folks to just going to pick up, grab a drink of me water there. Absolutely, everyone's up to Billy. Me bottle of water. It was cold when I started, and now it's fair to say that water is definitely on the definitely warm enough to take a shower with, shall we say. It's nice and warm. That's something I could have done. I could potentially have filled my bottles with ice to keep them colder for longer. Might do that next week. Oh, I see AJP was back again causing trouble. Yeah. Thanks very much to my mods keeping us looking out for us. Billy is saying, I want to make a stream like a video game antics where people watching can vote on where to go. Oh, I like the idea. So if there's 3 paths, so people can vote which path to go on. Oh, that would be an interesting way to play a game. Absolutely, it would. That would be fun. Eyes, oh, eyes are saying so many of the Scientologists look grossly underweight. Absolutely, they do, eyes. And it's no wonder when they definitely do not have much in the way of money. When you're donating your free time to the org, getting nothing in return. At best, they're providing you with a roof over your head. Are they providing you with your food, or are you having to provide your own food? Do you know what I mean? And even at that, the quality of food that we do see them providing is not too much. Like when you think of that event last year, we out here at was that for LRH's birthday? No, it was for the anniversary of Dynetics. When you seen the plates of food they were eating at that fancy event, it was horrific looking. At best, it was a cheap, nasty pub grub that you'd maybe pay a few euro for catering wise. And they do encourage their members to be taking the overdosing on all sorts of vitamins. Absolutely, beans and rice do not provide you much nutrition. Nor there's barley water, which is what they encourage the Scientologists to be drinking. Oh, there Devontae going in with a white lady. Oh, I wonder who is she. She to me had a bit of a conceited air about her. I wonder if she also maybe potentially. Oh yes, a thermos bottle. That would be another good idea. Kathy is saying I was just going to say freeze a couple of them. Oh yeah, that's another idea. You could freeze them. That'd be another good way of freezing the water. Absolutely, it would. Better than trying to put the ice in after. Absolutely, absolutely, antics. That's the only violence we advocate is smashing the like button or tickle it into submission. Hey, Travelology, how are you? We're outside the Dublin org of the Cult of Scientology, where the cult are hosting well, not so much the hosting. They've rented out their auditorium for an Indian cultural event. It's an Indian beauty pageant is on here today. Now the car park is filling up a little bit there, right? Front and back, but nowhere near the numbers we've seen like for the Irish dancing or gymnastic events. So you're talking about what, maybe 40 to 50 vehicles at best. We've only seen intermittent trickles of people going in. So very much would not be what you call a successful event. Definitely not a sellout. Is there much money to be made at it? Probably not, but it's more about the false safe pointing and playing the long game of presenting a friendly image to yourself and maybe line things up for future sales. My mods are doing phenomenal work today looking out for us all. And I know I do forget to say it, but I do appreciate everybody joining the stream and people staying here, keep me company and chatting. It certainly makes it much easier for me to see that for one, I'm not talking to myself. Because I find it very hard in general to talk. If I was here by myself, I definitely would not be able to be talking. So seeing people in chat makes it so much easier for me to actually talk, would you believe? So I was saying, especially with the kids, they're still growing, absolutely, and they are susceptible. Because if you think you're a kid in any way popping into this org, they're going to grow up thinking, oh, that's that nice, friendly place. I used to attend, the, that's a more beats of the horn there, and the thumbs up, that's what I like to see. But there's a nice bouquet of flowers. Absolutely lovely bouquet of flowers that lady there is carrying. So I wonder what the flowers are made of. we are we're getting a more of a slow trickle in. And like, I guess when you think of it, is it kind of it sort of is a cheap afternoon's entertainment when you're paying between 10 and 30 euro for a seat at this event for the Indian pageant contest. And then you'd imagine there'd be filler events on in between. There'd be a bit of singing, a bit of dancing and whatnot, a bit of music being played. So I guess from that point of view, as a spectator, it probably is good value for money. Oh, I like the antics and a gift from the fairies themselves. Oh, thanks very much, Billy. He's going to send you a video of Jim Fitzpatrick. I think I would love him. Absolutely. And oh, fantastic. He speaks out about the cults. Absolutely, I'll give him a watch. As he says, they're going to learn. Absolutely, they will. Absolutely. And I hope they just see me out here on my high vis with my high vis signs. Is planting the seeds that every single person attending here today will go away and do some Googles to maybe try and understand, oh, why was that lady out here giving up her valuable free time to be protesting against the abuses of Scientology? Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I think, thanks very much, Jennifer. All my mods are working hard for me today. I much appreciate it. I am 10% battery left, but I think I'll stay for a while longer. I'm going to dig out my battery pack, which is down here at the very far end. I'm pleased with my new system though for the posters. The only poster that has been flapping around is the freestanding one there with the buckets of water in front of it. Bit of rubbish someone dropped, but I'll pick up the bit of rubbish. But I'm not going to make sure there's no rubbish left behind. What did I come up here to do? Oh, fuck, lads, brain fog is bad. My battery pack I was going to get. Oh, fuck, I forgot what I came down this end to do. Jesus, lads. What did I do with my battery pack? Oh, here it is. Brain fog is a thing among us ladies of a certain age. That's for sure. So, I'm going to have to take the phone off the gimbal for a while to get some power into it. So I do apologise. My hand itself is a little shaky. I'll try and hold the phone as steady as I can. But it's not the... My hand does shake a little bit at the best of times. So I'll try and hold it as steady as I can. I wonder... Let me see. No, that's worse. Just trying to... Oh, hang on. Sorry about that. I put my fingers in the way. Just adjusting my hand to see, is there a way to hold the camera lens a bit more stable? I don't like to be too shaky because it can be tough on the eyes. Absolutely it is. It's a real thing as brain fog. Absolutely, yeah. Today's music, we have a combo of Jojo the Enforcer, we have Dan Ox LA, and we have Lara FM. And I don't know how many tunes. It's hundreds of tunes I have added to the playlist. And I let the app randomly play the music in whatever order it wants. I just decided that's kind of easier than trying to work out a more logical order. And I think this one is one that Miriam did, Scientology Up North, and who is paying you. And I guess in a way, when you think of it, in a way, I'm paying me to be here because I work Monday to Friday. And in my spare time, then I'm coming out here in my valuable weekend. So in a way, it's me. I'm paying me. So they are taking some photos. He has a big, huge lens on his camera there. This is going to shake it now. Taking a picture of that lady there. Big, huge camera lens. So they're definitely I suppose this will give them good PR for their future events. So I guess that's why they're taking all the pictures. Because like she doesn't seem to be in anything. Like her outfit is nothing fancy. Do you know what I mean? Relatively speaking, because we see, it's nothing out of the ordinary compared to what most of the other people are wearing. So I wonder would she be one of the female celebrities at this event? I'll have to Google the names of the three celebrities later and see. Because I imagine she is, because otherwise, why would he be taking pictures of her with that big, huge camera lens? I'd imagine she's something important. And then with this guy here, with another, no, that's just with his camera phone, I think, taking pictures of someone in there. So they're definitely for some sort of PR work that they'll be doing. And I guess they use this a bit as a promotional for themselves. When the organisers of this Indian event are a relatively new event group that I think they started, I think they opened up last year, where they seem to be specifically running Indian cultural events like this one. Yeah, let me just zoom out there. Oops, these fingers are mine. Oh, thanks very much, Jennifer. I try to do my best. Absolutely. And there's another car turning up there. So I have another trickle of people popping up there. He's taking. My camera. So he's taking pictures of that lady now. Maybe her frock is a little bit more special than the other. Is she a celebrity? I regret now not looking for pictures of the three celebrities before I came out. So I imagine they must be the celebrities. Otherwise, why would they be taking the big huge camera lens taking pictures of them? So I'll have to keep an eye out and see what kind of PR they're going to do on this after this. Billy is saying the family Mohan is split 50-50 between our. Oh, Mohan, yeah, I recognise that name. It's split 50-50 between Ireland and India. Oh, interesting. So you know many Mohans in Kerry, and I follow a Praveen Mohan in India. This clan or family linked to two countries somehow in ancient times. Oh, that is interesting. I'll have to look into that then. Thanks very much for that, Billy. Yeah, I do wonder, they two of the celebrities come. They must be. I'm just going to zoom out again because I know when I am zoomed in, it does shake like a fucker. Pardon for me French there. Still doesn't have that much of a charge just yet. I just have another drink of me water there. It is a warm day here. I just make sure I'm properly hydrated. Yeah, that's a good idea. Catties is to freeze my bottles of water, I think, for next week. Although, no, my look, if I froze my water, I'd come out when it'd be a cold day. It'd be a cold, rainy day, lads, if I did come out with frozen water. Like, even if I put my water in the freezer for an hour, that would start to form some ice cubes in it. That would work. He's definitely taken enough pictures of the two ladies anyway. Like, how many pictures does he need? Do you know what I mean? Now, I suppose you need hundreds of them to try and pick the best few after, but like, if you're anyway a half decent photographer, your first one or two will be good ones, wouldn't they? Or am I being cynical here, lads? Like, how many hundreds of photos do you need of the same thing? Like, come on. Although you have to be seen to earn your money, though. So you couldn't just take a few snaps and that's Bob's your uncle. You need to spend the time taking loads of snaps to give the perception you're giving value for money for your time. Yeah, there is that angle, alright. Billy is saying, and we have both this goddess, Danu too in India. She's a river goddess. Oh, but to us, she's the Danu of the Danu, the name Mohan means royal and noble. Absolutely, I have to look into that myself. That sounds very interesting. Very curious. Now that's piqued my curiosity. Okay, yeah, I'll take Sophia's word for it. Outdoor photos can be tricky with the natural lighting. And I will say the sun here is very bright because at times I'm finding it hard even to look at the screen with the shine of the sun on it. And I can certainly see in my the face of my phone, I can see me reflected back at me. So it certainly is very reflective, shall we say, is the word I was looking for. Jeez, I've nearly been out here 3 hours, lads. Can you believe that? Hey Manning, how are you? We're outside the Dublin North of the cult of Scientology. Oh, glare, that's a good way of putting it as well, antics. And I have all my signage popped up here. I've devised a new solution for me signs to try and combat the wind gales that we get here. It's I put strong outdoor grill attack to attack the tops of them to the wall there. And what I've done is I've made a little um, plastic foot there to just place some very lightweight ankle and wrist weights. Like their weights each are quarter of a kilo each, but they seem to be doing the job. They're keeping the signs nicely secure there, so it's definitely worth the effort. So I'm pleased with that new setup. Now, granted, it hasn't been as windy out here as last week, but we've still gotten enough gusts of wind to test out the new system. So that is definitely an encouraging sign. It was worth the effort of that setup because I bought 9 packs of the strong grill attack, and I used all nine packs of them because like look at how joggy that wall is. It's not a straight even surface. Now in some places I had to use rather a lot of it to try and attach the poster, taking into account the nooks and crevices and whatnot. So it's like all things in life, nothing is easy if you want to try and do the job right. We're still getting a slow trickle of people in at this event, but definitely no great numbers though. Like they still have room in the front and back car park. They haven't needed to use the along the side here for the auxiliary parking, so that is definitely encouraging. And I just hope now that these people in here now they can't help but see me because you can see even there I get reflected in the upper window at my high vis. Like there's no way they don't see me standing here. Oh, fuck, have I been muted for? Jesus Christ, lads. Hope I haven't been muted too long. That's me jobby fingers. Yeah. When I went to flip around the camera, I must have pressed the mute button. They're too close together, lads. I'm sure it's only waffling anyway, so only for a minute, that's better. Like, what was that time when I was out here? When I accidentally muted the phone, when I put it down in front of Roger, when I was laying out my posters. Oh, thanks very much. Just a lady across the road saying, good job to me there. Like that time when I accidentally muted it, when I put it down on the gimbal, you guys were looking at Roger. I was putting out me posters. I hadn't realised I'd accidentally muted the stream. And for a good half hour, I was chatting away to a lovely couple here, talking to them about what I do out here and why Scientology is abuser cult. And then I found out you guys missed all that. I was muted for a good half hour, like, Jesus. But that was a good learning experience in itself because now I do double check when I do put down my camera on the gimbal. I do check that I haven't accidentally muted it again. So we learn from our mistakes. Thanks very much. It was only a minute at best that I was muted for. That's all right. So we are seeing another. There's more of a trickle of people coming in there. All right. Now we were 10 to 5. So I guess some people are missing the singing and dancing. They're just here for the main meet and two veg event then to see the beauty pageant. But then we don't know where they're coming from. They could be travelling a fair distance though as well. Here's another bloke with a suitcase. Another bloke with a suitcase on legs, on wheels rather. I'll have to Google the faces of the three celebrities, Indian celebrities that are here today to see. Because I suspect the ladies we've seen being photographed there for a long time must surely be them. Hey PT, how are you? We're outside the Dublin org of the cult of Scientology, helping to spread awarenesses about the many abuses of this evil cult. And if you are in the market for a few books to read, I highly recommend reading Dr. Stephen Hassan's Combating Cult Mind Control book. And in that, you'll see very clearly, you'll understand why Scientology is one of the most dangerous cults that are in existence today. Also, another good book to look into is Jamie Mustard's Child X. He is someone who grew up as a child in Scientology, and he details the horrific abuses he experienced as a child growing up in Scientology. His story is by no means unique. A lot of children that grow up in Scientology have experienced very similar abuses. And that brings me on to our third book here, which is the book Robert Dam has written on the dark hotels on Scientology. He's a Danish guy who collated a lot of stories from people who grew up as children in Scientology all across Europe and their horrific abuses that they've experienced. So there's most definitely no good in this cult, or as they call themselves, Church of Scientology. There's absolutely no good done in this cult whatsoever. It's just full chock a block full of abuses. Thanks very much, Jennifer. Yeah, if you would all be so kind as to hit the like, subscribe to the channel. Yeah, share the screen, tell all your friends. Absolutely, Petty, stop the abuses. That's all we want. Like, people are free to believe in what they want, but the abuses are on. Just because someone is susceptible does not give you any right to abuse them or to condom. That's the one. Antics, Dr. Stephen Hassan's Combating Cult Mind Control book. It's an absolutely fantastic book. And it's where you'll start to understand very quickly reading Stephen Hassan's book all the similarities and parallels between how cults like Scientology operates and how abusive relationships work. It's very similar tactics. Absolutely. So if you can survive, you can see more Roger, and you can see more Roger here. With Roger here looking after the bookstore, and with his own signs, he has Stop the Abuse Cult and No More Kids in Scientology. And then you have me and my high vis Catholic cult written on it, and my high vis shirt with Stop the Abuses. I do love wearing the high vis out here because it gets reflected. You can see it reflected up in their upper windows. So there's no way they don't see me when they're looking out. Absolutely, they do see me. And that in itself, just catching a glimpse of the high vis in itself, you have no doubt I'm out here protesting against Scientology. And that in itself is planting the seeds. Oh, I wonder what that lady is doing, giving up her free time every Saturday afternoon to be protesting against Scientology. Maybe there is something about these abuses she speaks of. Maybe I'll do a few of my own independent Googles. And what I would say is a good place to start as well is to look into some of these people. Look into the story of Lisa McPherson, who died at the hands of Scientology. How there's nobody in prison for gross negligence, I just don't know. I'd also say have a look into Flo Barnett, Kyle Brennan, Eddie Perkins, Kaja Bala, Philip Gale, and Noah Lockett. And that's just to name a few people who have died needlessly at the hands of Scientology and their horrific practices. Really is getting warm out here now. It really is warming up out here, lads. I'm feeling it on the back of my neck to eat out here. I think I might be taking a packing up soon. I think, and I start to feel the heat like this. It's normally an indication that the heat is getting to me a little bit. Let's see. Been out here 3 hours 10, which is a long time, I guess. Yeah, I think I have to be. I kind of hate to pack it up when there's still people here. Do you know what I mean? But at the same time, you kind of need to listen to what your body is telling you as well. I think I'll give it another 10 minutes and then we'll start packing it up. Just go and drink some more water as well, just make sure I'm properly hydrated. Yeah, the thing I need to remember is there's only so much you can do on one particular afternoon. And particularly when we're in this for the long haul, we're going to be coming out here every weekend. That weekend, we're going to be coming out here protesting against Scientology. So I guess we need to be sensible and call it a day when we've had enough, because we have to listen to our bodies and the weather. Do you know what? If it started raining right now, I'd be so happy, lads. I wouldn't mind a cold, rainy shower right now. I'd absolutely love it. Oh wow, Donna says she was out super late and up super early. That's impressive, Donna. Oh, thanks very much. Thanks for sharing Manning's channel there. Manning does fantastic work. There's a lot of people doing fantastic work in this space. Like you can see there from the way the leaves are being blown around, it is a bit gusty. But my signs are holding firm. So we're on to a winner there. We'll see how good this grill attack is. How reusable is it? And how much dirt do we pick up from that wall? Because that wall isn't exactly, the wall isn't exactly clean either. But I'm pleased with this new system though. I think we're on to a winner here, all right, lads, with this. Oh, this is going to take me time to pack up. Maybe I'll start packing up now. Yeah, it's going to take me a while to pack all this stuff up. Let me see. How much charge have I got there? I think I should have enough charge. I'm going to plug it back on the gimbal. Yeah, let me get this thing. Let me see if I put that back on the gimbal right. Oh, dear God. No. Oh, sorry about that. I always struggle to get I always struggle to get this on the gimbal properly. Doesn't help when you have sausage fingers. Now let's try this again. Sometimes I think I'm getting worse at using the gimbal, not better. Oh man. Let me try it this way. Do you know what? Sometimes I found if I switch on and off the gimbal, it seems to help. I've already switched it off. Oh. Ah, that would be why. My sausage fingers must have knocked off the gimbal. Oh, no, that's not right either. Oh my God. No. Okay. That is lined up properly. Let's try this then. Okay. Why is it changing the... Oh my God. What am I doing wrong? Let's try it once more. Let's try this. Okay, that's better. I do like to leave the light running while I pack it up until I get myself away a little bit distance from here, just for my own security, and also so that the cult can't be making up any lies on me jumping over the fence and causing damage after ending the live once I'm away from here, because I'll have I don't like to even give these guys even that little bit of a strand of a thread they can pull on. The only police reports they can make on me is by them out and out lying, in which case they haven't a leg to stand on. Like that time when they tried to say I was harassing staff members, and I'm nowhere near staff members where I am. It's quicker to take this off than it was to assemble them. I need to be careful I don't damage my foam boards when I do this. Probably should have started at the top, worked my way down. That would be a better way to do it. Start at the top. This is quicker to pick them up than it was to lay them out initially. I'll be quicker next weekend. I know what I'm doing with them now. That's fantastic. It's not leaving. Absolutely zero marks have been left on the wall here, which is good. Absolutely perfect. We're leaving behind zero marks on the walls here. Absolutely perfect. This has worked out absolutely fantastic.
Saying you don't belong.
Done that, but I should keep it.
Feels to try.
Hang on. Quicker wait till my signs all even. Where can I put them all in together? Put half of them first. Okay. Oh, I forgot Roger signs. I don't. I'll put Roger signs in as well. Roger. Sign there. Got me another drink of water. That's all my stuff. That's everything. It's all nice and clean there. Left the place all nice and clean. We've left 0 marks behind us. No rubbish. A few more people turning up there now. What time are we at? 5:10. Oh man, it's too warm here. Fuck. Aye, aye, aye. Absolutely. We run a clean protest every which way you look at it. Could definitely do with a cool one. Absolutely, I could. Surely does get warm there. Fuck. Absolutely, Jennifer. Such a difference from last weekend. Now, I know we had some more stronger gusts of wind last weekend, but at the same time, we still got enough gusts there today to indicate that the new system is definitely making a difference. Yeah, I'm going to be under the cosh. I might be a little bit late. Might be a little bit late antics. It's going to be very tight for me to get home in time for the listen stream, and then I need some food. Fuck. God damn it! Why do we always need so much food every day? What's wrong with me gimbal? Oh, it's switched off, is it? Oh, oops. Sorry, lads. One of these days I'll learn what these buttons do. I think what can I have for my lunch, my dinner? Could have chips, or I could have a bullshit instead. Or could I pick up something en route? Might be a pick up something in between buses. Yeah, I would think I might pick up. I think that might be a better setting. Yeah, but our bodies are very inefficient because you need minimum 3 meals a day. You need to eat pretty much when you get up, you eat midday, and then you need to eat again in the evenings. Like, isn't that most inefficient? Like, when you think about it, like reptiles, like they get one big feed and that could last them for months. Do you know what I mean? Wouldn't it be so much handier if you could have one meal a day, eat as much as you wanted, and that would do you for the day? Wouldn't that be much more handier and efficient looking? You know what I mean? And I'll join all right, but might be a little bit late. We'll see. I'm thinking I could pick up I know where I can get a lovely quiche to go that's made up with salady bits and pieces. I just can't think at the moment what's in with it. But it's a nice box. I've had it before. That wouldn't really do. If I picked that up in between me buses, I might do that actually. And then this time of the evening, if I'm lucky, I might even get a half price if it has today's date on it. I might even get myself a half price dinner out with lads. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, that you could skip breakfast, skip dinner, and eat a big lunch. Well, now I get hungry every couple of hours. Like it's only when I'm out here protesting, it's with the nerves that I don't get hungry. But if a normal day at home, I'd have me breakfast, I'd have a mid morning snack, have me lunch, I'd probably have two mid afternoon snacks, I'd have me dinner, and then I'd probably have two mid evening snacks or mid nighttime snacks. So I do like regular food, I have to say, which is where it comes in handy when you make your own chocolate brownies, because I make them with extra walnuts in them and less sugar to keep me sustained. This is just a mini walking tour, just to get me a little bit away from the cult. Because this way, then there's no way the cult can say when I ended my life, I somehow jumped over the wall and burnt the place to a crisp or something. Do you know what I mean? You know yourself. Tis a lovely day here. Like you can see the Dublin Mountains there in the backdrop. You can really see the Dublin Mountains there. I wouldn't mind a. I've never been. Would you believe I've never been for a trek in the Dublin Mountains? I'd have to some stage, but I'm kind of thinking I'd need to bring someone with me. It wouldn't really be a good idea to go off for a trek on your own, particularly when you're prone to tripping over your own feet in fresh air. Well, that's more than far enough away. I think I'll end the live now. And there's no one in front and no one behind. That's what I like to see. I like to make sure that there's no one in front and behind. That way, there's no fear of anyone sneaking up behind me. Do you know what I mean? It's as well to just implement a few extra precautions because it's no extra hassle to do it. So I want to thank everyone for joining.